Hi Maureen, I'm Douglas. I'm here to present to you assignment 8 for CMNS 1291. The article that I've chosen to present on was in the Vancouver Sun on December 20th, and it's called Home Prices in Canada Expected to Cool Sharply, Except in the Hottest Housing Market. The article itself focuses on a few main points. Effective January 1st, 2018, all federally regulated financial institutions will have to increase their qualifying rate by 2% or use the 5-year Canada benchmark rate. These new rules apply to all financial institutions that have been federally regulated. What that means is banks, so banks like TD, Canada Trust, Royal Bank, Bank of Montreal, and any credit unions that have been federally regulated. So this doesn't apply to provincially regulated credit unions. Where you might find those would be Vancouver has a fairly high penetration for credit unions in the retail lending market. So the background, what does this mean? Canada's housing market has seen a robust increase in the years since the global financial crisis of 2007 to 2009. This drove up the prices of houses, but it also spurred record levels of household debt. And household debt is one of the key features that's used to calculate your debt service ratios when you're applying for mortgages. So while the property values were increasing, so was the amount of debt that most Canadians were carrying at the same time. The impact, while house prices are expected to increase over the next 3 years, 2007 saw increases of about 8.5%. 2018 is expected to slow down slightly with increases of around 1.9%, and 2019 is expected to start to come back a bit again with increases somewhere around the 2.6% rate. When we're looking at these numbers and calculating TDS, we kind of go back to that household debt number, because your total debt servicing ratio of 42% is a benchmark rate that most financial institutions will use as a comfortable level of debt that a person is allowed to or can pay on a monthly basis. So what it is it looks at your total annual income, and for these scenarios I've used $75,000 as a annual income, divides it by 12, so you get a monthly income of about $6,250. And then it looks at your total debt obligations, which would be your mortgage, principal and interest payments, debt payments, property tax, and other housing related things like strata and heat. So when we look at that, we would come up with how your TDS is calculated. So we look at your mortgage payment. In this situation, we're going to look at $100 for heat. We're going to look at about $250 a month for property tax, and then credit card payments, loan payments, and car payments would be included in there as well. So you get a total monthly expenses of $2,625. So in this situation, when we take that $2,625 and divide it by the average income, your income used to qualify, you'd get a TDS of about 42%. This is a healthy level. With the new rules that are being implemented, it's going to drive up those interest rates. So if we just look, for instance, the negotiated rate was about 3.49%. Once things change, you're now going to be qualifying on a rate of about 5.49. So 2% higher than the negotiated rate. What that's going to do is it's going to take your monthly payment from $1,675 to about $2,050 on the same amount of mortgage. What that does to the TDS is it takes it from 42% to 48%. 48% is a percentage that might make things difficult for some people to pay all of their debt obligations. So with that, the summary of some changes. Prices are still expected to rise over the next couple of years. Housing prices are expected, housing starts are still expected to continue, but in the areas like Vancouver and Toronto will probably not be as affected by these implemented changes. It'll be seen more in smaller areas where incomes might not necessarily be as robust as they are in major cities. The major effect that this is going to have is people's buying power. So it'll reduce what people are able to qualify for, and again, what they're able to buy. And it's expected to reduce that by about 10 to 15%, potentially eliminating about 12% of future home buyers from the real estate market.